listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
All right, Jay. So here we are again after the most exciting games of football ever in the history of man. Well, I'm just going to say it that way.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's the most exciting, but it's been the best playoffs I can remember in a long time. I don't know.
I'm going to say this has been the best 6 games we've seen, definitely in a row ever. I mean, you got every game came down to not the last possession, basically, but 5 out of 6 of them came down to the last play. Mm-hmm. And never have kickers been so important in NFL football than what we saw from last weekend's quarterfinals to this week in semifinals. And I tell you, it don't get much better than what we just saw. There's no doubt about that.
I think the only way it could get better right now is if they had, like, in between each game, there was a throwback Michael Jackson, Prince, or Janet Jackson concert right in the middle of the show.
Speaking of the concert, the show that's coming up, are we all super excited that they got all the old rappers coming out? Yeah, we got Eminem, Dr. Dre, we got who else is coming out? Kendrick Lamar. Who else is coming out? Mary J.
Now wait, are we saying now that Kendrick Lamar is old?
Well, okay, Kendrick Lamar has been in the game a while now.
Okay,
right? He's not a guy. For him to be able to be on the stage with the Eminem, with a Dr. Dre, with a Snoop Dogg, you got to carry some weight to be up there. My thing about it is, have we just went a little bit too far? I don't know. I don't know if I want to. Have you ever been to a rap concert before? Have you ever watched one on? Have you ever watched one on video? Have you ever noticed that the stuff that the music that they play at the rap concert really don't sound like the record? On the other side of it, have you really noticed lately they just play the record and the artist sort of lip syncs it? Mm-hmm. I mean, nilly vanilly. I was watching this thing, I think it was Cardi B or somebody. Literally, they were playing her track. She was just singing over the top of it. Then she'd hold the mic out. And somehow, I didn't know she became a ventriloquist, but her words was coming out of her mouth without her mouth actually moving. You know?
Well, you know what? The thing I'm most excited about the halftime show is the over-under. I'm taking the over that Mary J will stumble at least 3 times because I think she's going to be on swerve the whole night. So I'm taking the over on that.
You think they're gonna have the pre-show, the pre-party going on? The after party gonna start before? Man, we partying out. Man, the game is on Sunday. Man, we starting the party on Friday, bro. We gonna be all the way up.
You know what
I'm saying?
Yes, I believe she's going to start like when they do the press packet junket, that when you do Reporters Row, she's going to be there. And she's twerkulating.
So you mean possibly on the first class flight on her way to the venue, there could possibly be a problem with her getting doubles of whatever her favorite cocktail beverage is if she's on her way to LA?
2 shots. Yes. I
shots.
You're like, that's not even your song, Mary. I don't care. I love it.
I mean, what are they going to break out? It's still Dre. Yeah. It's going to be some form of 8 Mile. I don't think he's going to bring out any Slim Shady.
You got to bring out 8 Mile because, like an ode to Matthew Stafford. You're like,
maybe so. You know what?
You've been on the 8 Mile, so now
I like that. I like where you're going with that one.
Yeah, you better lose.
You got that. And then what Snoop Dogg will come out? Gin and juice. Lay back with my mind on my money on my. You know, what is he gonna come out, man? Smoking a big old spleef out there? Is that what he gonna do? with a big old. I mean, what are they going to do? It's going to be like somebody, a DJ might as well come out there.
For our younger viewers, we have to explain what a spliff is, JK.
Hey, look, it's one of them long reefers.
Reeferage.
Yeah, they roll up the long reefers in some was it cigar wrappers or something? Not that I would know anything about that. But you know, I'm just saying. I mean, you know what? You might as well put a DJ up there and just let them play their music, and then the whole picture, they have pictures flash up on the screen of whose music you're playing right now. Because that's basically what this concert is going to be. I'd rather see somebody who plays live out there, or something like, you know, Kanye West with the big concert, you know, with his whole crew coming out there, maybe doing something. I mean, or they did a rapper type thing and it was a symphony out there and they were rap. I mean, some musicality. Maybe that's what this is going to be. I'm just, you know, I don't know.
Well, to Vance, Tom, you know, Vance Sizzle was on the show and he gave us some pertinent information. And that is that Kanye is coming out with Donda 2 on February 2nd, 2022.
Wow.
That's right.
Didn't even know there was a Donda 1.
Why aren't girls named 1 and 2? Like, have you ever noticed that? Like, there's junior and senior and the third in some families, but then you got girls, it's like 4 Whitneys in a family. Or it's like 10 Lula Mays. You're like, all of them can't be Lula May. You're like Lula May number 1, Lula May number 2. You know, you don't know if you're talking your aunt, your cousin, you don't know, your grandma.
But a lot of times, though, they go by their middle names then. So you might be calling somebody Mary and you never knew her first name was Lula May. You know? I mean, you be talking about, hey, Mary, Jane, whoever else, and then you know, Lula May Jane, that's her name. You know, I never knew her name was Lula May. Yeah, because there's 4 Lula Mays in the family, so they all called by their middle names.
Yeah, that's serious stuff.
Yeah, the ladies don't get to be juniors and seniors and all that type of stuff. Hey, you ever notice how many ladies are not taking, when they get married now, they don't take their husband's last names? You ever notice that?
I'm beginning to wonder if it's going to be a shift now where guys are going to start taking.
Wow, that would be deep. That would be deep. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I go for that. You know,
it depends on the last name.
Unless you're a stay-at-home husband, that type of thing, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, if her name is Rockefeller.
Yeah, but you got to have Rockefeller money, though. You can't have.
I'm just saying, if she's a real Rockefeller, yes,
and drive. Oh, of course you would. And you know, we can't be out there. You last Rockefeller, you driving a hoopty, you know. The 2001 Civic with the fender falling off can't be Rockefeller.
Russell Simmons. No, he's on the island. He better stay there,
dude. And there's a reason why he's on that island, right? I'm not coming back.
Nope, don't want to be cellmates with Kales.
They don't have jurisdiction, pal. I'm not coming back here. No, sir. I'm gonna keep throwing off this $1 million a year to the head potentate of the high potentate, and I got my visa renewed. Yep. I'm hanging out right here. I'm gonna eat cracked crab out here, and you know. And
I was thinking about Russell Wilson since he's Mr. Sierra.
When
just all kind of fits.
He's not Mr. I don't think you call him Mr. Sierra though. I mean he's married to Sierra, but I don't think you really see him as Mr. Sierra. I mean, he's still Russell. You know what I'm saying? I think he was a catch for her, then flipping it around. You know what I'm saying?
If he doesn't find somebody who can catch his balls, no pun intended. Wow. But if he can't get some receivers out there, Jack, those balls that keep going to other places, he's going to be Mr. Sierra. He's going to be the.
Now, speaking of quarterbacks making a move, I know we're supposed to be talking about the game, but you know, I always take it off the rails every time I get on here. So they're talking about Jimmy G is going to be moving here. Would you like to see him at Hallis Hall? No. Would you like to see Jimmy G at Hallis Hall?
Jay, how many passes went over 30 yards that Jimmy Garoppolo threw? And to say, just like Cousin Butchie, I'm gonna call him. What you just call him? We were watching the game. He called him not Jimmy Taco Bell. He called him
Why did he call him Jimmy Taco Bell?
Because he couldn't say Garoppolo, so he said, I'm gonna call him. Oh, I know what he called, not Flounder. He called him
Flounder. That's still one of the greatest movies of all time, Animal House.
Yeah.
Flounder.
Yeah. He called him, it was something about a fish. It was something fish related. He called him like not Jimmy Salamander. He called him whatever it was.
Close enough.
It was close enough to know that he threw like Jimmy Salamander. It was terrible. It was terrible, Jay. I mean, if they had any distance, any play, because I really thought Deebo Samuels was going to get killed. I really did.
Well, I mean, a tough guy, tough wide receiver gets out there. He got clacked. I had to actually make a phone call on that one. I was like, they've been waiting to hit number 19 like that. They put him a full, that was textbook. I'm going to hit you coming across the middle because Jimmy G stretches all his players out. He don't throw nobody down low so they can get down and get under these hits. Jimmy G stretches them straight out. However, though, would he be an upgrade from our present quarterback we got going on right now?
Okay, I'm glad that you're talking about this because you remember last season when Joe Burrow was the worst quarterback in the world. You remember when we never thought he was the worst quarterback in the world. We looked at Joe Burrow. We knew Joe Burrow had high potential, but he was not performing that way. You look at Justin Fields right now, and do we look at him and say he has high potential? I don't know. We saw when he know he does. Yes.
He does.
Definitely.
I don't know.
He's got high potential. Like
he better read a blitz. I don't know if we can do that yet.
Stafford did in Detroit. Like you,
no way. Absolutely. You're going to hope that Justin Fields is any form of a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. That would be our best case scenario. That would be our best case. I don't see that. I don't see him going. I don't see him being Matthew Stafford-ish. I don't see that. Matthew Stafford was putting up numbers up in Detroit with bad defenses, with horrific offense. Even when he had Megatron, if I remember that right there, he did have Megatron. Yeah. But he was putting up numbers. Matthew Stafford could get the ball. Let's ask a question.
I mean, he was the quarterback of a team that went 0-16.
Fine, but that's not his fault. We all knew Matthew Stafford because we
one game to victory.
Let me ask you a question. Well, let me ask you a question then. Would you have taken Matthew Stafford over Mitchell Trubisky here with the beloved?
When?
Yes, you would. Maybe. Yes, you would. The only quarterback you probably would have taken that the Bears have had in the time that Matthew Stafford was up in Detroit is probably good on number 6.
Don't say that. No. God, no. I would have taken Matthew Stafford 10 times over Sunday over Jay Cutler.
Okay.
God, no.
Okay, so now we're saying Matthew Stafford was a better quarterback than any quarterback we've had for the Bears in the last decade.
Okay.
I'm just saying that. So I'm saying if he'd have been better, so is Justin Fields a better quarterback than any quarterback we had in the last decade?
Justin Fields is a better quarterback than the Bears have ever had, ever.
He's a better physical specimen of a quarterback. I just don't know if he's going to pan out to be the quarterback that we need because you didn't. You saw him. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, I know so. I mean, what you're saying, I just told you the history of quarterbackage. We can go to John McMahon.
We saw some history of quarterback.
No, I don't remember their older quarterbacks.
Bobby Douglas will kill you with the football. He'll throw the football through your body. He had the absolute strongest arm, I want to say, probably ever recorded in the NFL. He could, if he hit you, literally, he was breaking people's wide receivers' chest plates on their pads. He was.
Did anybody tell him that this was not a gladiator sport? You're not to kill the players with the football.
He would throw the ball out of bounds and literally throw the ball 10 rows up into the stands. Bobby Douglas had a hand cannon. There's no doubt about that.
I'm just saying,
But
the Bears quarterback, if you can even put Justin Fields in their top 5, and he just got there and had a terrible year, that tells you how horrific the Bears have been. I mean,
Justin Fields better than Jalen Hurts. Put him over there. Put him over there with Philly.
Everybody said that Jalen Hurts is terrible.
Is Philly better with just Justin Fields, or is he better with Jalen Hurts being up there?
I think he would have been better with Justin Fields because he would have had a real offensive coordinator and an offensive head coach. I don't know what I keep saying. I don't know what Justin Fields is yet.
I think physically he's got what we need. I just don't think that it translates to what we see on the field. He made a couple of good throws, but once they take away those throws that Justin Fields like to do, I don't see him unless it's just horrific coaching. And our staff at the Chicago Bears, his previous staff, had no clue of how to run an NFL offense. I don't believe that. I just think it was bad. Matt, look, okay, any of these coaches coaching in the NFL know how to coach football. Let's get that understood.
Do they really?
Of course, you can't be.
You still leave a man. Are you going to leave your rookie quarterback with a 5-man coverage, and you see his 5-man protection scheme isn't working, but you still gonna stick with it?
So now, are you going to change your offense because you have a quarterback who actually run your offense, who's second string? Because when that quarterback came in, he was able to run that offense.
Yeah, and it still resulted in 330 yards of loss.
But you saw Andy Dalton run Bears offense was actually a better run offense than when Justin Fields was in the game.
Yeah, because you saw an offense that was meant for a stationary quarterback that didn't have to move or use protection. Now, 2 quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Mitchell Trubisky. So they both suck. They're the worst quarterbacks in history of all time. And let's see. Mitchell Trubisky came back in a preseason game and lit the Bears up. I mean, by himself, he lit the Bears up.
So let's ask a question. I think Mitchell Trubisky, I think you said the same thing. I think too much onus was put on Mitchell Trubisky from being a bad quarterback. He basically got ran out of the Chicago Bears. Now, we look at Mitchell Trubisky. Do we think Mitchell Trubisky is going to end up being a starter in the NFL next year?
He could be. I mean, if things run right for Mitchell Trubisky, you've got 5 teams that need a quarterback. I'm saying, is Mitchell Trubisky less of a quarterback than anything they've got in New Orleans? At this point, all of their quarterbacks suck.
Would you take Taysom Hill? Would you take Taysom Hill instead of Justin Fields?
Not after what I saw this year with Taysom Hill. No. I mean, he's a good gadget player, but I'm not putting him out there for a full game. I had him on my fantasy team. He was horrific.
That's why I think Sean Payton retired.
He probably
like, I'm not doing this no more. I can't do it.
He was a high-end running back that just all they should have done was just run the Wildcat.
Absolutely. But he was a gadget guy, like you said. You have a real quarterback there, and all of a sudden, you got a defense out there that's playing nickel, and all of a sudden, Taysom Hill comes in the game, and now he can run the football and do some things. Well, because he's only running up against a 7-man box. You know what I'm saying? Right. You put him in the run game and he's running up against an 8-man box or something like that, or when he's really running against a 6-man box, but they still had to throw some stuff in coverage because they had Michael Thomas out there, wide receiver, a few other people that you had to double. You had to move the ball over to the other side. You had a Jimmy Graham out there who could stretch the field. Good Jimmy Graham. I just want another check, Jimmy Graham, which I don't blame him on that. Get all your checks, and I'm hating because none of them checks came to me.
The funny part is wherever Jimmy Graham goes next year, if he goes to a competitor, if he goes to someone who's really competing for a championship, I think you could see a whole new Jimmy Graham, because Jimmy Graham is about as athletic as George Kittle. He's not to the Travis Kelce level, where he'll boogie on. But if you put him out there on just a one-on-one against any quarter in the league, he win that. Because all you have to do is loft the ball up to him.
the thing about Travis Kelce, though, people don't realize, I believe he was a quarterback
Something like
that got moved over to tight end. So he had Boogie already in him because he was quicker than what your average tight end is going to be at being an athletic big quarterback like he is. So I think that's where his athletic ability shines, is that he's able to get out on these linebackers, and he's got the boogie in him, and he can make moves, unlike he was a guy who just came in playing tight end all the way through high school. We don't learn them boogie moves like that, because you really don't, playing tight end, you really don't have to shake anybody. I mean, it's just NFL. It's just this NFL probably in the last decade that tight ends were really out there shaking and baking people. I mean, unless you saw the great the Keller Winslows, tight ends like that.
But they were so just few and far between. Right.
And they were just bigger. They were quicker than these linebackers. And they were able just to push the ball downfield. They remind you a lot of a slimmer version of Gronkowski. That they were just so much bigger than the linebackers that they were playing against. And they had decent speed, that most of these linebackers did not do well in the back pedal and chasing these guys down the field. That's why you start seeing these nickel and dime packages really become prevalent in the league in the last 10 or 15 years, because all of a sudden you got these big guys, 6'5", who could run, and so they had to start bringing in these hybrid defensive backs slash linebackers who could run with these guys, So it's as the NFL mutates, you start seeing these different type of players like a Samuels from the 49ers who come and play the tailback position, where normally in the 80s brand of football, 90s brand of football, he wouldn't have the last two quarters because he'd been beat to death back there. Because you just had these big brutes who would just beat him down, but now you have to have these hybrids that got to run. So it's a different NFL. But anyway,
I would say this. Don't be surprised if you see a Jimmy Graham get re-signed by the Bears again, and you can use him in the slot. But I will say this also. Don't be surprised if you see Jimmy Garoppolo playing for the Saints, somebody who needs a quarterback, anybody. I don't think that you're going to keep, especially after this. I know he was injured and you're like, okay, he wasn't great, but you do have Trey Lance sitting there. They did use a top 10 pick for a quarterback that I believe will be their next quarterback who can really push it down the field. He's a lot like Justin Fields. And if you got him sitting there already, why would I pay Jimmy G Tilapia? That's what Butchie called him, Jimmy Tilapia.
That's hilarious.
So why would I pay Fish Boy?
Shout out to Uncle Butchie.
Yeah, shout out to, because I'm like, I don't know why I paid a fish guy either. Why am I going to pay you big money and I got a kid sitting right behind you who might have done better against the Rams tonight?
But here's the thing about Trey Lance, though. He was on the practice squad. He wasn't even activated this year. He basically had a redshirt year. So my question is, why wasn't he on the active roster? Did they carry three quarterbacks? And if they carry three quarterbacks, that means he was the fourth quarterback. So my question is that why wasn't he in the position then? If he's going to be the heir apparent, then why wasn't he in the position to be the backup to Jimmy G? You know what I'm saying?
He was out there for a while, and then he got injured, and then somehow he just disappeared, from the mix. And Jimmy G
forgot he was on you forgot he was even on the 49ers until they actually mentioned it again.
Right.
I was like, I forgot about him. So I'm always curious. Especially in an NFL win right now league, and they're going to put out the best 53 they can put out, that we see guys getting stashed away on the practice squad basically because they used a high draft pick to get him, so they don't want to put him in a position where he's going to be out there and can be claimed or something like that. But then the other side of it too, that if he was activated off IR, if he wasn't on the PUP list, then his ability doesn't get him on the 53-man roster. He's not easily a third-string quarterback. unless
Well,
he's
see,
injured.
the same thing happened with Justin Fields. You saw that at the end of the season where they started playing this rotation and he just came up with these phantom injuries and he was out. But I think you got a lot of players or coaches who don't want what happened to Joe Burrow to happen to their young quarterbacks because Joe Burrow's injury could have ended his career. I mean, look at Alex Smith. I mean, it was so severe that I was surprised he was even able to make it back this year versus what we saw last year.
But here's the thing about it, right? So you look at it too. Any play can end a guy's career in the NFL. I mean, we know that for a fact. So if you have a guy out there and he's able to play, but you're not playing him because you don't want to get hurt, but you need somebody to play that he needs to get experience on playing football. I mean, you can't get experience playing football in practice. True. Because they don't practice enough in the NFL. There's not enough contact. The number 2s and 3s hardly get any snaps. I know they were talking about with Tom Brady. Literally, he will take every snap, just about. And the backup quarterbacks have to take snaps after practice with wide receivers who want to stay out and run routes. I mean, literally, that's what ends up happening. So if you look at guys like this in the league, snaps are precious to get in the NFL. And so anytime you get opportunity, either sit in that room or get snaps in practice or something like that, that's something that you should do. And so I'm always curious about development of quarterbacks. You don't see now in these days that you see quarterbacks being stashed behind starters that are come in like you saw Aaron Rodgers do behind Brett Favre, like you saw with Joe Montana, and you saw can't think of his name right now. Young,
Steve Young.
being stashed behind Joe Montana for 5 years or however long that was. You don't really see that in the NFL. NFL right now, because guys can move around so much, and because of their contracts and the cap, you see guys, they're ready to go, they start running them out there pretty quick. I mean, you see, look how many first and second year players you have started in the NFL playing quarterback. Now, usually that doesn't happen. It's like a new phenomenon now. You get the Joe Burrows out there. You get the Mahomes, even though he wasn't starting right from the beginning. You get the Hayberts out there. You get those guys out there playing early.
That's funny. Now that you just mentioned Mahomes, I'm not surprised with the outcome from the Rams and the 49ers. We knew it was going to be a slobber knocker, and whoever probably was standing at the end of the game and whoever had the last offensive plays, that drive, was probably going to win. But what were you thinking when you saw there was a possibility that the Bengals were going to knock off your homie, my homie, Patrick Mahomes, as he was trying to figure out how to get his discount plan through State Farm?
Well, here's the issue. When the Bengals were down by 18, somehow or another, I took a snooze on the couch, all right? When I woke up, I had a ginger snap in my hand. And I looked up, and I want to say they were either down by 3 or down by 7 at that point. And momentum had changed. At the first half, the Bengals couldn't do anything right. I mean, the Chiefs were high-fiving, and I said, "Oh, they're gonna drop 40 on the Bengals. It's gonna get ugly quick." And then all of a sudden, I looked up, and it was like, was Tyreek Hill even in the game? Right. We're not throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill in no kind of way. Right. So you mean to tell me that you couldn't cover the cheetah at all in the first half, and then the second half, you were able to put the 12th man on the field and just had him run around with the cheetah, and he couldn't get the football no more? And then also you start people dropping the ball left and right. And I think once you start seeing that start to happen, all of a sudden you saw Patrick Mahomes start to press. Patrick Mahomes is great when he doesn't think. When he's able to get out the pocket and wing it around and stuff like that, he's making it up as he's going along, that's where he shines. But when he has to start processing and he's all of a sudden off script, I mean, not off script, but he has to be on script. Right. Then you start seeing him not make all those throws that he needs to make. Patrick Mahomes is great when he has to run around back there. He's running around and zigzagging, like Miss Pac-Man back there, running away from the little things trying to eat you. But after a while, when they start taking away weapons from Patrick Mahomes, all of a sudden you start seeing that he's not able to hit those checkdowns like he needs to. And he's not the greatest game manager sometimes, too. You know what I'm saying? Like that, he shouldn't have forced that ball downfield into that coverage. Even though it was a great play by the defensive back to get that ball knocked up in the air, it still was a throw. Now, here's the other side of it. So we all, hindsight is 2020. If he makes that, we go, wow, he fit that into a small window. So we know football is a game of inches. But we see with the top quarterbacks out here that they're able to be very methodical on moving the football downfield because they can read the defenses and they know where the openings are. Patrick Mahomes can read defenses, but like he said, I think it was last year or the year before, he really didn't know how to read defenses his second year in. He was just out there winging it. And I think that's where he got in trouble in this ball game, that when he had to sit down and really make throws, all of a sudden you see this offense get stagnant. And I think they just lost confidence. They lost confidence. And then, the Bengal kid was on them, the unflappable one.
It's funny that you had mentioned it earlier. The end of the half of the Chiefs and the end of the fourth quarter for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes looked very Justin Fields-like. There were decisions that you started to say, oh, why would you do that? Why force the ball high? Why not throw into the end zone when you've got 3-4 seconds left? Take the field goal, take the points, walk away.
Yeah.
But you decide to underthrow Tyreek Hill. He gets clocked outside, and you have no more time left. Fourth, you take a sack. Now, your kicker made the kick, but you took a sack. You lost, what was it, 17 yards? 15, 17? He lost however many yards you lost. You start to say you're good, but you're over. They get cute. Patrick Mahomes, and that's that Justin Fields thing. It's that, I can make this play. I can do something you can't do. Yeah, well, and it was Justin Fields like. You're trying to make a play, then all of a sudden, not even a spy who wasn't even rushing comes in, strips the ball. It could have been disastrous then. At that point, it could have been over. But Justin Fields was able to at least get the field goal to put him back into position. But I'm beginning to wonder about Justin, just as you're wondering about Justin Fields. With Patrick Mahomes, to your point, whenever he goes off script or whenever he starts to improvise and he has to keep doing, he can do it once or twice in a drive, you give him that. But when he's got to keep doing that, or he feels he keeps doing it, he becomes real Justin Fields-like.
Absolutely. And this is my question on Patrick Mahomes. We know he was a phenomenon when he came into the league because I think he was one of those guys we just hadn't really seen before, and he was pulling off the magic. But we know in the NFL, those defensive coordinators do not go home 4 days out the week. They sit there and they hit the button going back and forth. And after a while, they're going to take away what you want to do. And I think what you saw tonight was they said, all right, we're going to let you push this ball wherever you want to push it early. We're going to get you comfortable. And then we're going to come back in the second half and take it away from you. And now you have to make reads. And that's where you see Patrick Mahomes, because he has that gunslinger mentality, a lot like Brett Favre, that he will throw it into these tight windows. And he doesn't have the great arm mechanics. He has a great arm. He does not have great arm mechanics. And sometimes because of those great arm mechanics, he can't be super precise with the placement of the football when he needs it. He can make the spectacular throw downfield. You got Tyreek Hill sprinting downfield, or you got his tight end doing the shake and bake, and he's wide open in an area, and he can put the ball in the area. But when he has to put the ball where it has to be on time, I think we had this same conversation before. He struggles doing that. And I think he got forced into having to make completions, having to third downs, have to convert on third downs, and he don't really shine in that department. He's a home run hitter, but we also know a lot of home runs hitters strike out a lot. And I think that's what you're starting to see. So now, does this loss take him out of the pantheon of quarterbacks now? Because last year, and definitely the year before, he was on the Mount Rushmore. He was the greatest thing we've ever seen in life. They were talking about he was the heir apparent to Brady. And now we've seen him look not pedestrian, but we've seen him look beatable on a couple of occasions now. And you wonder how long are they going to be able to hold this offense together up in Kansas City? How long is he going to keep this offensive line going on in Kansas City? So did we see Patrick Mahomes flare up, and now we're going to see him fizzle out? That's the question now.
Because the offensive line isn't that great for Kansas City. I mean, you can't pay everybody. I understand that. But to the point you just made, is he more Russell Wilson or is he more Brett Favre? Because for all the greatness of both quarterbacks, Russell Wilson won one championship, even though he's still playing. But it doesn't look like in the future, unless he goes to Pittsburgh, I don't see him winning another championship. Same thing with Brett Favre. Brett Favre only won one championship and went to 2 Super Bowls. That's it in his whole career. And the same thing now is happening with Aaron Rodgers. Is that same, how great are you when you've got people, when we talk about Aaron Rodgers, people forget that Peyton Manning's little brother, Eli, has more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Russell Wilson. I mean, there's a list of men who won that one Super Bowl.
Right.
Eli had 2, and he's not even considered one of the greats of any time. He wasn't even the great at Ole Miss. I mean, he was Eli Manning. So I'm wondering now, is it getting to that point with Patrick Mahomes where we're just saying he's good, but he's not great?
Well, I had a thought on this, and what happens when Tyreek Hill's not there anymore? What happens when you don't have a world-class sprinter? Tyreek Hill, for you all who don't know it, right, is a world-class sprinter. He held, I want to say, either the second fastest time all time for the 200 meters from a high schooler in the United States, which would have put him, everybody knows that when Usain Bolt broke the world record when he was running away from people, Tyreek Hill would have placed 4th in that race in high school. This is how fast Tyreek Hill is. He is uncatchable. He hits explosive fast. You can't guard him unless you put 2 people on top of him, bracket him like they did in the second half, and just dare you to throw the football to him. The question is, when you saw the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, because you saw the speedster flying down the field and nobody knew how to cover him because he was one of those guys who just showed up in the NFL. He was not a guy who was top 1 or 2 pick or anything like that. They actually had to go find Tyreek Hill. I want to say, was he a 5th rounder or something like that? Something down there like that. So the thing is that once you take away this big weapon, I mean, the big weapon is not there, and all you have is Nicole Hardman to throw to. All right, you don't have shake and bake Kelsey out there, right? What happens when those 2 things are gone? Now, is he going to be Tom Brady-ish, where he can make an offense work with pretty much without having anybody there? Because if you looked at this last go around here, when Skip Bayless was crying, you really saw an offense that Tom Brady had. He had Mike Evans out, but after that, Scotty Miller. But, Scotty Miller doesn't scare you. He has speed, but he's not a guy you go, okay, let's guard Scotty Miller. So once Tyreek Hill is gone, can Patrick Mahomes still be Patrick Mahomes? That's my question right now. Is he a product of that environment? Is he a product of these unknowns? And then has the NFL figured out Patrick Mahomes now? Even though this is his 3rd straight, venture into almost getting to the Super Bowl, but have we seen the best of Patrick Mahomes? What is that it? And they said the same thing about Brady a few times. They said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. And then, that's the other thing about Aaron Rodgers too, since I'm flipping around the board right now, is Aaron Rodgers a product of the division that he played in? That he just had the best team in the NFC North. And when you're going up against Detroit twice, when you're going up against the Bears twice, even though Bears had no offense, when you're going up against the Vikings twice a year, you're going 5 for 6 against those teams. You're winning the NFC North. You're getting the number 1 slot. But we always saw that all that greatness was one championship. When he got outside of that, they got whacked. And so you wonder now, if Aaron Rodgers goes somewhere else, is this a situation? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be Tom Brady-esque when he goes down onto a team and changes that culture down there and makes them into a winning product right away? Could he go to the Denver Broncos and do what Tom Brady did? Because Tom Brady went down to a team who had weapons, but they were an absolute mess.
I think Denver's an absolute mess. They don't have a run game. You don't have a number 1 receiver. You don't even have comparable or capable tight ends in Denver. Their defense is in shambles. So when Vic Fangio left, he left the cupboard bare. It's like that, it's like seeing a grocery store that had been raided right at the beginning of the pandemic. There's nothing on the shelves, like where the bread used to be. Paper. Yeah, there's no toilet paper, no bread.
Toilet paper people at where you can't pull your car down into your garage because you hoarded all the toilet paper, dummy. My bad. I'm sorry. I had to throw that one in there.
I never understood that. So it's the same thing to me. So we're putting all these quarterbacks in one big bubble in a bag and shaking it, and it's funny what's falling out. But we got a lot to talk about over the next few weeks because we've got a Super Bowl to break down, and we're going to dissect and break it down and poke it. And we're going to talk about Justin Fields again. We're going to dissect him, and we're going to hit him with a bag of funk, and then we're going to see what comes out. That's what we're going to
do. Funk.
We're going to get him with the funk. We're going to hit him. We're like Justin. He's going to be like, yeah, there's the funk, sir. There it is, right in your face. That's what we're going to do.
We want the funk. Give us the funk. We want to turn his mother out.
I'm just telling you right now.
Why would you want to turn your mother out?
I don't know.
That's just wrong. Yeah. You ever really listen to some of the lyrics of some of these songs that you just be bopping in your head too? If you only knew what they were really saying.
It might be, and don't get me start nothing that I don't know for sure. But you might get Justin Fields and Jimmy Tilapia together on the same team. It might be one of those things. You don't know what's going to happen in the feud. It's just going to be.
Question is, you got the new coordinator coming down from that team up north that will not be mentioned. He's coming down here now to revamp this offense, right? I'm going to be very, very, very interested to see coming out the gate, is Justin Fields going to be the number 1 quarterback? Because are they going to? I'm interested about this evaluation process right here. Because now here's the thing about it: are the Bears going to be a contender next year? No. This is a rebuild. So if you're going to rebuild now, are you going to put assets out there? Are you going to spend money on assets and not going to be part of your long-term goals?
It is the whole thing though with Cincinnati. Like last year, they got into a position to get Jamar Chase. We were having the same conversation about Cincinnati. Now they're going to a Super Bowl. It's the same thing you could say about the Bears, but oh no, the Bears won enough games that they really aren't in a good drafting position. They gave away draft capital. Oh, and by the way, you don't even own your first round draft pick.
Yeah, but nobody knew the Bengals were going to make it to the Super Bowl.
No.
You know what I'm saying? This is one of the longest shots to make it to the Super Bowl in modern NFL history. And they were 18 points down. They tied a comeback. They were 18 points down. If it wasn't for the Patrick Mahomes and them just deciding that they were going to Disney World and they all at halftime, they went in there and started booking flights and calling it booth thing. and start getting stuff set up and try to see if Mickey has a room at the castle, wherever they're going, or they're going out, or they're trying to, contact Eminem to see where the party at. They came out flat. I mean, absolutely flat. But once you done dated the prettiest girl out there a couple of times, after a while, a friend of mine said this. He said, for every pretty woman out there, there's a man that can't stand her. You know what I'm saying? So here, were you not respecting the Super Bowl because you have been going back, or you think, hey, we're going to go back? We're going to go back again? And then you had teams out there who, Cincinnati has not been there, hungry. That's what you saw with the Rams. They're in Dallas. You see him just screaming on the sidelines at his team. Like, we got to go. I mean, we got, and he made the deciding play, 2 of them at the end. And I don't know. I just wonder if once they had this team down 18, that it was just like, this is over. This is done. We're good to go. We're just going to play the string out right now. And if that's the case, and they let this comeback come back, and they didn't put their foot on the throat like you needed to, you saw the same thing with Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay was done, cooked, and over with. And all of a sudden you looked up and here came Tom Brady. If it wasn't for they were playing this whack defense out there that didn't make any sense, and let that guy sneak down the middle of the field. Had they not did that, you might have seen, it might have been Tom Brady might have been playing this weekend, because you don't let him up off the deck, because he's shown he's a killer. He's going to kill you. Is Patrick Mahomes a killer like that?
Well,
I don't know.
The one thing I do know is I'm dressed in my hoodie because I'm going to coaching school. And if I've seen correctly from the Bears, anybody can get hired on their coaching staff. So right now, you'll probably see the next Sizzle shows, and we're going to be out of Hallis Hall because we're going to be coaches somewhere in there. We're going to be doing some things where I have on my hoodie, so you can know, so people can leave their comments. You can leave all of your opinions down below. In the below section, you can say, hey, you know what, G Sizzle, you all are wrong. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all times. Justin Fields is the next coming of soccer cleat Jesus. You can say anything you want to right there. You can put it right there in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. And all you have to do is just watch it and enjoy yourself, because it's fun. It's an amazing time.
And here's the last comment I'll make on this. Sir, if you were at Hallis Hall, you cannot, when the reporters start asking you questions, you cannot be like, hey, if you ask me that one more again, I'm going to slap you up. I don't think you could do a press conference like that. One more time. Say that one more time, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I can't tell them like Penny Hardaway. I'm a man. All right. Hey, man, don't ask me that question again. You're not going to play me like that again.
You had to do the Russell Westbrook. You got to do the Russell Westbrook. Man, you tripping.
Yeah. I'm just all right. All right. Well, maybe I can't. So I'll rethink this, and we'll rethink this whole thing.
One quick question. Are you super excited about the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Super geek. I am super.
I mean, it's Joe Burrow against Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
But what's really weird, this has been such a good NFL playoff that I actually am sort of geeked about this game. Like, whoa, let's go Bengals.
This game is going to be great. And you know what? It's even going to be better is the Sizzle's going to be out there. You're going to be able to do the game with us. I'm telling you, man, we got big plans coming. We got 2 weeks to get this together, and we're going to get it popping. We're going to get it jumping.
We're going to be out somewhere. We'll be live from a venue. We got the Sizzle's been in COVID protocol here for the last couple of months, though, but we're about to mask it up and get back out there amongst the people because we miss being out, especially at our venues that we were going to on a regular basis. So we got to get back out there.
That's right. We're going to be there. We're going to diddy bop just for you, so you understand that we are serious about this. We love you. We love the sport. And the thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the thing when we do the thing.
You did say diddy bop, right?
Well, even if I didn't, you know what this is. You know who this is. This is the Sizzle. He's Jay Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle. And listen, the next time you hear from us, we're going to talk about Bulls. We're going to talk about the Bears some more. We're going to talk about the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. And then we're going to talk about the over-under of how many times you were going to hear weed references from Snoop and Dr. Dre.
Oh my God! If they break out gin and juice at this, hey, and shout out, man! The Olympics get ready to start on February 3rd. I always love the cross country skiing. I like that. I like that, and I like the speed skate. Speed skate is great. I like that.
All right, you know what it is. You know who it is. It's the Sizzle, and we will see you, my friend, on the other side. Remember, you can always catch the Sizzle's Hot 5 and 5 right here on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television. Make sure that you subscribed and share this information with someone. Hit the button, the like button, to make sure that you are leaving those like comments. And hey, down below, tell us what you're thinking. Tell us some things you want us to look at, and make sure that you're looking for a brand new episode of The Sizzle, the hottest talk in the 219. Remember, I'm G Sizzle, and I will see you on the other side.
Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Iron Skillet Sports. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Iron Skillet Sports on YouTube.